Hello, my name is David Luna and welcome to my channel. This is the Illinois Workers Project. Today I wanted to begin documenting my life experiences in the crypto industry and how I've gotten to this point in my life. The other day I was talking with someone on Discord and they were like, man, you're living the dream. And I was really thinking about it and I could see how it could seem that way to a lot of people, but it's been really difficult. So I think that's why it's important for me, and that's why I wanted to share a little bit about my life with y'all, my small audience, for whomever watches this. But fair warning, it's going to be a little bit long. But yeah, I kind of want to begin by letting you guys know that you are intelligent, you are smart, you should believe in yourself, you should never give up on your dreams. If someone at your job is putting you down, making you feel like you're not worthy, I'm telling you that you are. And better days will come, but you have to go through the hard ones also. And there's definitely a lot more hard days than there are good, but that's why we have to be smart and intelligent and kind of get out when we're up. So yeah, in March, in the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, 2020, in March, the stock market crashed, and I'm a construction laborer with the union at this point in my life, and I remember watching the stock market crashing on my cable television that I was still interested in paying for, and I remember going to work and telling my work crew about it, like, hey man, there's opportunities out there. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And one guy in particular, I'm not going to say his name, but he looked me right in my face and he's like, man, you're not going to do shit. And, it hurts me because he was right. I went home that day, when you get home after working a long shift in any construction industry, you're exhausted. So your window of opportunity to learn is very small. And I remember downloading a Robinhood app. My friend Alex had been telling me about Robinhood for a while, and he was like, but the problem there is that he was a gambler, so the stock market and gambling just became intermingled for me. So I just really looked at it like it was very risky. So I remember getting up to the point where I linked my bank account, but I just couldn't do it. And I went back to work, and he looked me in my face and said, I told you so. He didn't even ask me if I did it. He just knew that I hadn't. So, that crushed me a little bit. That hurt my spirit. It made me feel like there was more to my life than digging dirt for a living. Even though there's nothing wrong with that. And we had great benefits. I've been averaging like 75 to 80 grand a year. So you make really good money, but I had gone through a shoulder surgery. A lot of the contractors, they use you as a mule, and especially for people that are colored, there's not a lot of protections. Even as a union laborer, you hurt yourself, workman comp claim, they got a plethora, a list of attorneys, but if you have a civil rights action for the way that you look or your national origin, there's nobody there to help you. There's no resources that are available, at least here in Elgin with the laborers local. They don't really care. No one's really trying to hear that. Elgin is a crossroad between the country side and the city side, right? So it's just a lot of tension between urbanized communities and the rural communities. And yeah, so I ended up getting laid off from this job, right? I had been going through some things where I'm being made fun of. It's frustrating for me. This is during the Trump era, 2020, if you guys remember, and it was difficult for me to deal with, especially after going through that with the stock market, and it made me feel like I wasn't worthy. Like maybe they are right. Maybe I am stupid. And I've grown up without my father in Section 8 housing, with not a lot of mentors that knew how to teach me about finances. But I'm pretty stubborn and I'm dedicated, and I began realizing that I am intelligent. Actually, I was an honor student throughout high school, and just life circumstances prevented me from even getting to school, right? So, you know, that's another story. I was homeless as a kid, but anyways, I'm laid off. I'm on unemployment. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I have a sense of urgency. I begin looking into Bitcoin. I started looking at YouTube videos talking about it, and I just really became interested in something that had a fixed supply, 21 million, right? And I remember telling my friend about it, the one that told me about Robinhood Alex, and I was on a conference call with him and another friend, and I actually purchased my first Bitcoin with them on the line. I thought it was crazy, but I knew I had to do it because the price just kept on climbing. It was like 10 grand, and it was like 10, 5, then 11. I'm like, man, I'm losing money. I need to purchase this immediately. Not even realizing that I had hit 3,000 in March when the stock market crashed of that year. So I ended up buying 2 Bitcoins by the end of November. And then the beginning of December, I had the option of a $400 Ethereum or a 40-cent XRP. And I ended up going with XRP, just believing in the cross-border payment concept because I've had so much family send money back home to Mexico. It just MoneyGram, and it just made complete sense to me, right? And they ended up getting sued later that year, which confused me, and I kind of wish I went with Ethereum. But even then, I was like, the bull run began at the beginning of 2021, and that was encouraging for me. I was really on a cloud, like, man, I did something good, I did something right. I'm gonna pay for my house. And I didn't do anything. I didn't cash out. I just rode that cloud all the way down. And I was stuck on this screen right here, watching the charts and trying to figure out if I had the courage to short Bitcoin as it climbed down, and I didn't. At one point at 38,000, I tried to, but my bones began to shake so hard. I just couldn't do it. And that killed me because I knew unemployment was ending, and I still wasn't able to find work. I was available, I was willing. So, in the beginning of 2021, I also went back to college. I went to Judson University. It's a Christian university, evening program right around the corner from where I live, just because I realized, like, the human resource department at my previous employer really failed me. They didn't give me the resources I needed, right, to address my problems that I was having. And I wanted to make a difference in that industry. I'm like, I can do it. I am going to do it. So I began going back to school to get my bachelor's degree. So that's one great thing that I feel that I've had the freedom to do since I've been off of work. And, is study. It's educate myself. And concentrated finance is great to take. It really is. I'm studying human resource management, but the business aspect of it is just incredible. It's you can't put a price on that education. You really can't. It really made me look at things differently. I've also been building a brand, a retail handmade artisan boutique that I've been trying to build. And I'm looking back now, and it makes sense for me now, creating my own financial statements, my income, my balance sheet, my financial forecast, that, what I'm doing, it's not working. I got to change something quick, right? And it's just a lot more insightful to be knowledgeable, for sure. So Bitcoin goes down to 28,000, and I watched the market go all the way down. But up to that point, I'd been interested in mining, right? And I've been looking at the Cadena miner, the KD5, and I've been telling my girlfriend about it. And she encouraged me, like, man, you should look into that. If you're not able to find work, and if they're potentially blacklisting you, then maybe you should create your own business. And I've already created a Apex Snow Management, a commercial snow removal contracting service. And I went for it. When I told her, as Bitcoin begins to climb, I'm going to purchase some miners, and I did. And I'm happy that I did. End of July, I sent Bitmain like 40 grand or something, or more than 4. I don't even remember how much it was, but for two L7s, expecting to receive them in November. I didn't. Everyone knows no one did. And yeah, I mean, it's been difficult. It's been difficult. My unemployment got cut off. I had to pay my bills again. Just been trying to figure out, like, been spending my Bitcoin to get by. Like, you know, just taking out what I need. In a way, dollar cost averaging out as throughout the fluctuations and the volatility of the price. And I went to Italy. I was in Italy, and while I was in Venice, I exchanged some Bitcoin so that I could purchase some earrings and establish a relationship with an artisan there to help build my Gaki brand. I also, the day after Mark Zuckerberg announced that they were changing Facebook's name to Meta, I purchased a Decentraland parcel so that I can start building a boutique on there. Because I loved the metaverse. I think it's cool. Like, you all interact through avatars. I don't feel racially discriminated against or different because of how I look, because we all look the same, right? No one's really paying attention to that. I mean, I haven't came across it, at least. So yeah, I mean, end of 2021, I come back from Venice, and I was there. I ended up going to Mexico, which was great. You know, I went to a family Christmas party there, and on my way back, you know, I had been researching Gala, and I was really interested in the founders notes, and I wish I had bought one, but I didn't. Back in October, at one point I seen that it was like 20 grand, and I looked back, it was like 27, and I was like, no way I'm going to be purchasing that. It's just way too much. I didn't understand, and I still don't understand how they're making money. Just there wasn't enough information from Gala. Only thing I knew was this guy named Bitbender, who I thought was CEO. He was announcing that Gala Chain's going to be coming out the first quarter of 2022. So I'm like, that's perfect. I could play video games and make a living. Let's get it. You know, let me do this. You know, I ended up finding out, now that I'm being a lot more diligent with my research, is that his history it consists of being a marketing officer, so a promoter, and I should have done that research beforehand and before making those investments, but I didn't. But now I'm looking back and I'm realizing, like, I made a mistake there. So I ended up getting in like 20 grand into some NFTs by the end of December of 2021 and Play to Earn Gaming. I've lost about 85% of that money in the value of my NFT assets and its liquidity and what I'm able to get in return. January came around, the third week I finally got my miners. I'm still managing to pay for my mortgage somehow. I don't know how, but I'm cashing out, you know, hard assets. I still have some. I still have things like this, you know, silver that I can exchange for money to pay for my house or for my mortgage, right? This is Libertad from Mexico, which is pretty cool. And you know, it sucks because I'm getting ready to sell it. It sucks, man. Yeah, so the good thing was that, well, not the good thing, but then my tax season came around. I was getting a little bit worried about that because I had been cashing out my Bitcoin throughout 2021, and I anticipated having a large tax bill. But the good thing was that I was able to write off my investment into my mining business and the infrastructure around it. But now, you know, what happened was I ended up getting scammed, man. Coinbase gave me a free tool called Coin Tracker to merge all of my wallets into one so that I could figure out how much I owed. And I ended up figuring out that there was an airdrop token that I interacted with. I looked up the website. It looked like Decentraland. I connected my wallet. It stole my Decentraland parcel. My lives and dreams were ruined. For that moment, at least, right? I was crying, man. That was a hard one for me. Like a 15 grand hit, man. That's a hard hit. That's a pretty hard hit. I'm still, like, it's surreal. I still look back at it. That wasn't that long ago. That was in April, you know, a few months ago. Filed it. Only thing you can do, you call an FBI office. They tell you to fill out an online form called an IC3. A complaint form. You can update it with any new information you might remember. I haven't heard back anything from them. That wallet just disappeared, the website disappeared, my NFT, and I ended up reaching out to OpenSea, It got reported for suspicious activity. You can't buy it or sell it anymore. Not on OpenSea's platform, at least. Throughout these months, I have been talking with the reporter from CNBC that I found on Reddit. She was looking for people that had been scammed, and I told her my story, and I've been updating her, giving her leads, and was supposed to be on her CNBC report. You know, she's an Emmy award-winning journalist, right? And everything checked out. She ended up publishing a story just recently, and I wasn't on there. Unfortunately, I'm the only colored person, so I can't help but feel, Paige, that might have had a reason why you didn't include me in your story. So May Mayhem came around. That gave me some hope, right? But I don't know if you guys have watched my previous videos. There was lack of clarity in the rules. I missed out on the first week's big payout. I ended up playing only 8 hours the first 8.5 hours, but 10 hours afterwards. And because I didn't play that extra hour and a half on the first day, I missed out like on $800. I got paid like $200, which was cool. I made something. I was happy that I was finally generating some sort of revenue from these NFTs that were supposed to be giving me this utility from a few months back. You know, and second week I didn't qualify. Third week I won 700, so that was like my biggest pay. And May Mayhem actually just had their fourth week in the end of June, and it's going through the first and second week of July. I made a team. I got disqualified. We lost our first 2 matches and won our first. I've always used a cannon. I don't know if you guys have ever played Spider Tanks, and I can't help but feel that there was the way that the weapons have been balanced favor lasers and other things that are provided for free to people that don't even own any assets on this ecosystem or have supported it at all. Unfortunately, I hope that they use their gains to buy some NFTs, if nothing else, because I know they're trying to grow it, and I'm not mad at them for that. It's just been extremely frustrating to invest in something that has lost so much value and has given us so little in return. And if you speak out against it in the Discord or Twitter, people get angry, right? They must have done really well. They must have, even if they're down, like they just really believe in something, in this, which I get it. I've been reading a few books, and there are a lot of them have been pointing out that entrepreneurs have a tendency to be optimists, which could be good and bad, you know, because it could blind you from the harsh realities of certain situations. Okay, so I am at the point now where I'm getting ready to graduate in a few months with my HR Human Resource Management degree, a bachelor's from Judson University. I'm really proud of myself for that. I've been looking for work. It's been really difficult. I do have a background. I was convicted of a felony when I was 19 years old. Something I didn't even do. I was just there trying to help people out. You got to be careful when you try to help people out. It even happened to me recently. Especially the people closest to you, you try to help them out, but you burn yourself in the process. And it's just you got to know when to say no, and that's something that I've been working on, is being firm. And even it's never too late to back out neither, you know. Even if you're in the process of something and you realize that there's something wrong, it's okay to stop, you know, even if that you love this person. So yeah, that's kind of been holding me back, even though Senate bill, like I think it's 1480, was recently passed by Governor Pritzker, preventing employers from inquiring about your criminal history until later on into the interview process. But I'm finding out that even going to temp agencies, this is one of the first questions on their application. So legislation favoring people or trying to help people better their lives is great in concept, but if there's no enforcement, like what's the point, right? So it's been hard, man, because I've supported the Democratic Party throughout so much, and in the end, like, no one has been there for me. And even these ideas in this legislation that are being passed, they sound amazing, but if they're not being implemented, like, what's the point of these liberal ideologies, right? Because if the reality of the situation is when you are going to be continue to be discriminated against, then what's the point of me even being supportive towards you, man? It's discouraging, to say the least. especially my union. I really don't. I've had one guy that's been very supportive, and that's only because he can identify with my struggle that he's gone through recently with being a colored person in the labor union, one where we make up the majority and have almost no representation, and the people that are in power aren't helping us. And this story is just like a broken record, man. Elgin City Council, we have one representative, right? Rosa Martinez or something. No one's even heard of her. Like, who is this lady, right? Like, she's not involved in the Latino community. Like, and yeah, but Latinos and Hispanics, we tend to be our biggest critics towards each other, and we don't support one another, and that's unfortunate. And I hope that can change. I hope that if you see an entrepreneur or a business guy that is trying to, be a better person and better his life, like, we should support that, regardless of what they look like or what preconceived notion we might have about who they might be. Like, it's okay to support people that are trying to do good, man. Especially in this era. It's hard, it's difficult. Like, I've been starving. I'm getting ready to go to work. I work in a warehouse, and that's hard. It's gonna beat my spirit down, but I got to do what I got to do to survive, and I'm not even trying to survive. I'm trying to thrive. And I've been able to build a mining farm, but with the bear market, I'm barely profiting anything, and I still have to pay my electricity. I got to pay for my mortgage. It's just not enough for me. I'm definitely in a bind. It's kind of scary, yo. It's kind of scary. So next time you hear me say, like, I haven't worked in over 2 years, like, don't think it's all like been great. I mean, I've had my good moments, don't get me wrong, but man, it's been hard, man. I can't work in the construction industry because I spoke out against injustices, and in the HR industry, I feel like my history, even though it happened over 16 years ago, it doesn't matter who you are today. If you have been criminalized in your past as a poor person, like, you will be punished for that for the rest of your life. I don't care what positive thing you try to do now, and that's hard. It's a hard reality. I'm actually considering, like, moving to a different country, even if they have inferior infrastructure or judicial system. I don't know. I'm beginning to not believe in our country anymore, and it's a hard reality for me. Maybe with the income that you are able to generate with play to earn gaming, it might be enough in a developing country to survive. Because at this point, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to marry my girl. I'm trying to build a family. And in this country, I just can't seem to do that. If I do, I have to sell everything and have nothing. And I don't want to do that. I mean, why would I want to do that? Right? I've worked just as hard as anyone else, and I deserve the same rights and privileges as any other American citizen of this country. My father, my uncles, a lot of my family has served our country in the military. I've grown up as a proud American, and it's just hard. Like, the other day, I live in Elgin, at Highland Park, not too far from here. There was a shooter there. What's going on, man? It's scary, yo. So anyways, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom type of guy. I'm just sharing my experiences, my mindset, my thoughts, where I'm at today. I'm looking for work. I'm going to leave my email down below. I'll email my resume. You can look me up on LinkedIn, on Indeed. I need an HR assistant role. I'll take anything. Customer service. I don't know. You get at least $20 an hour, hopefully. With the price of gas, I need something, especially I got to drive there. Like, that's where I'm at. So anyways, this is the Illinois Workers Project. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to express yourself. Silence hasn't benefited me at all. So, speak your mind. Speak your mind. Critique me. I'm open to it. love and prayers your way. Hope you send them back. You guys have a good one.